How are you this evening?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I just picked this subject on the fly, came up with it real quick, but I think you'll enjoy it. So, are you ready to start the show?
Why not?
Hey, everyone, and welcome to or welcome back to One Man and One Woman, the podcast. I am one half of your co hosts, Tara Michelle.
And I am J. Flan.
Today's subject matter. Yummy. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what the subject matter is. I'm just going to ask you the first question. You ready?
Sure. These are always my favorite.
What is music to you?
It's expression. It's life. It's uh, it's a soundtrack to life. I think every moment in life has a song to go along with it. Um, yeah, it's peace. It's everything.
Hmm. I'll throw therapy in there. I think it can definitely be a little bit of therapy. The next question is, what was your introduction to music?
Um, family. My mother's the youngest of 8 or 9, and so all of my aunts and uncles and even my cousins um, were adults when I was a kid. Um, so I got introduced to, I guess, what was old school music back then. I was listening to a lot of Jackie Wilson, The Temptations, James Brown, Sam Cooke, Harry Belafonte. You know, I had people around me that were trying to get me into more like current mainstream music. And at the time, I was running back and forth to South Carolina with my aunt, who was a senior citizen back then. And we was getting it in Shirley Caesar, whatever it was. Like it probably wasn't no MC Hammer or whatever was on the radio at the time.
Okay. What's your favorite genre of music?
Yeah, anybody that knows me, it's hip hop. I'm a I'm a hip
There's
hop
some people
lover.
in our audience who don't know that. So that's why I'm treating this like, an
Yeah.
introduction
What
to
about what about you? They don't just want to know about me. I'm not that interested.
I mean, I haven't really my introduction to music was probably my cousin Michael. Um he was always playing something. And my grandmother, most definitely my grandmother and my great uncle, Willis Rice Jr., who passed in 1991. But I grew up listening to great music, Motown, all the feel good stuff from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. It was the 80s when I was born. Don't get it twisted. I was not here in the 60s. I'm just saying that's the music that was playing when I was growing up in the kitchen with my grandmother while she was cooking and I was trying to learn how to cook. Always great music playing. Definitely Otis Redding and again, the Temptations, Smokey Robinson, um, just Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, just all the confunction, like all the good music of yesteryear, I guess.
Yeah.
And um, my favorite genre is definitely R&B. I mean, nothing's even close. But I do like most genres. I don't think, except for stuff that sounds really satanic, there's some death metal that I like, but I mean, I can find something in every genre that I like. There's at least one song somewhere where someone did it and I think the first time I ever thought, "Wow, what is happening to me?" was when I was listening to Korn, and I think it was Freak on a Leash, and I remember Aaliyah doing an interview with one of the dudes from Korn and saying how much she loved his music. And I was like, gotta know who that is. Gotta look him up now. Cause of course, Aaliyah was everything to me. And that broadened my horizons to start checking out every genre for something that I could find that I liked. Um,
Uh,
yeah, so
I
definitely
do
R&B.
I gotta do this real quick because my mother only ever seems to hear episodes where I somehow say something wrong about her. So let me include my mother in my introduction to music. Show tunes, movie soundtracks, uh, Brazilian or Portuguese jazz, bossa nova, Sergio Mendes. Yeah, she definitely was a heavy influence early on. Can't leave her
Your
out.
mother listens to this podcast?
She, if I say something wrong, she gonna find it somehow. If every time I slip up, I get a phone call. I promise you.
That is hilarious. Okay, let's get
Somebody
back
snitching, and
to
I'm gonna
it.
find you too. Don't worry about it.
Since you said that hip hop was your favorite genre, give us your top five, dead or alive.
Top five dead or alive. Jeez. All right. Anyway, let me. I gotta do disclaimers because people get way too intense with this type of stuff. This is top five right now in no particular order. Could change tomorrow. I don't know.
Oh no, it's a particular order. Your
No, it's
top
no
five is
particular
a
order.
particular order.
No
You're
particular order.
cheating.
I'm not cheating. No particular order. No particular order.
I'm sorry, guys. He's always like this.
Yep. Big J. Absolutely. Man, and that's where it gets tough for me because there's so many artists that I love, and like trying to leave somebody out the top five. Um, Jeez, man, I listen for lyricism, so I'll make this my top five lyricists dead or alive. So we'll go Big J, Royce. Uh, Jeez, man, so many, so many.
When you say Royce, do you mean Royce the 5'9"? For those who
Hey,
don't know who that is,
if there's another Royce that they're gonna come up with, then I can't help you. But yes, Royce the 5'9", Nickel 9, Nickel, whatever you want to call him. Royce the 5'9" from Detroit. I guess if I put Royce, I can't. I'm not going to do two Detroit MCs, so I'll leave M out. I got two slots. You see how difficult this is to me? Like this is how serious
I
this
thought it would
is.
be easy for you.
Nah, I like it's people get mad. They be like, "Oh, wait, how you gonna have a top five and not say blah 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 blah?"
It's your top five, so you say who you want, and
I'm
we're
gonna
not worried
go.
about anybody
I'm
else.
gonna put Rakim on the list because to
You
me,
better have.
Rakim is the difference. Rakim is the difference between old school hip hop and current hip. Like he's the linchpin. There would be no artist rapping the way they rapping today
It
if it
went for
wasn't
Rakim, the
for
God
Rakim.
MC. So much ain't fine to say. Oh my God.
I
Okay,
got
anyway.
one slot
And
left.
who's your
If I got one slot left, it go to Black Thought.
so love that list for you. I really do. My top five, dead or alive. Number five, Eminem. Number four, Rakim. And I really could move him up to number two, to be honest. Number three is Lupe Fiasco. Number two is Andre 3000. Three Stacks is so cold. And I know he's doing flutes and stuff now. But if we can add people who are dead, then we can add people who are, removed from the genre, but still here. So, and my number one, of course, is the greatest of all time, Tupac Amaru Shakur. That part. The next
Yeah,
question
I let you
is
live because it wasn't, it's not necessary.
say what I want. I mean, I didn't say anything about your list. I said what I
Yeah,
want.
nah, you
It's
say
how I
what you want.
feel.
I let it live.
How do you feel about the state of hip hop right now?
Man, I don't want to be. I feel like I'm the old. I feel like the old man on his lawn, like yelling at kids to turn that noise off. Like I don't necessarily get this current music. And if you ask me, it feels lazy to me. It doesn't feel like art. And I think hip hop really ceased being an art a long time ago. I can't put this on the current generation. I think we made it a product a long time ago, and it became about money and how much money you can make and how much product you could put out and just flooding the market. It's too many artists. It's too many songs. It's nothing is classic or timeless. You're forgotten about a week after you drop it. You know, microwave popcorn. It got to the point now where like when I listen to older songs, I'm annoyed at how long they are because the current songs are so two verses and we out, quick ringtone, type of music that now I got like it's shortened my attention span. So Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the music out there. There still is great music being made, and a lot of the artists that I grew up with grew up and are continuing to make music, which I think is dope. Listening to hip hop music about being a dad and a husband, and midlife crisis like that stuff to me is dope. The art form, grew with us.
Yeah,
But
and it should because I remember back in the day when like the game and some other people would always talk about people being 36 or 40 or whatever else and still rapping and how that was just like so played and all of that. But those of us who grew up listening to those people and those people are still here, we want to hear the things that we're going through. We are growing up with them. So we can't still listen to the same stuff that we were kicking it to at 16.
yeah,
It's absolutely time for us to move on to something else. So yeah, a man rapping about how he almost lost his wife because he was cheating, about how he wants a better life for his kids than what he had. Just keep the beat there. Like the one thing I would say about these people nowadays is the beats go so hard that a lot of times you're not even listening to what they're saying because it just makes you move. But
yeah.
for
I'm not even
me,
a fan of the beat selection these days. Like I think it's a lot of remakes. Like they remixing
yeah,
songs that were remixed when we heard them. Like we didn't even hear the original, and now we on like the fourth version of it, and it's crazy.
I
And yeah, I
agree
you
with
know I
that. I
miss
still like
producers
a
like
lot of the beats though. Like that Panda beat was tough to me. Whatever that
it's
boy
not a
name is, the
very
Timmy Turner dude or whatever. I love that beat to Panda. But what I was getting ready to say was for me, I hate the state of hip hop right now. I honestly, the mumble rap, the drill rap, I think that we've gotten way out of hand with the violence, way out of hand with the promotion of drugs, way out of hand with the disrespect and talking about, shooting videos on people's graves and doing all kinds of really, really inappropriate stuff, which turns around and gets you killed the next week. It's just too much. And even when we used to have back in the day those battle rap beefs and stuff like that, it just wasn't this. We had Tupac and we had Biggie, and now it's just people. I don't know if that's the dream to be taken out because of your music or what, but the state of hip hop as a whole, from the music being trash to the music being very forgettable to like no substance, it makes me sad. Something that started off as a way for us to vocalize and tell our stories about the life you wish you didn't have to live has now become a way for people to glorify being everything no human being should want to be. And it's insanity to me.
yeah. I mean the good music is out there. It was I think the difference between the upsetting part and the difference between then and now is is completely one sided. I talk all the time about when we were
Balance.
coming up, like DMX and Tribe Called Quest got played side by side on the radio, or you had Diggable Planets, or you had Common, you had the other music represented in a mainstream fashion. These days, if you don't know about these artists that are making music that doesn't fit, the one note current narrative, they're not gonna deliver them to you. You're gonna have to go find them. Somebody's gonna have to tell you about it. And so yeah, I just want the
Spotify
balance
is
back.
good with that. So is YouTube. I found a lot of artists across genres that I didn't know anything about just based on what I normally search and what I normally look for, what I normally listen to. They've been brought into my life. So, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What genre do you listen to when you're looking for peace, when you're searching for peace in your life to clear your head, clarity, things like that? What genre do you go to?
It's mostly instrumental, but it could be across several genres. I have some classical songs that are specific to that. Adagio and strings is one of my favorites for just zenning out and I don't know, finding some peace. Jay Electronica has a verse that'll make me cry if that's what I need in that moment. I can listen to some jazz. Yeah, I have a ton of just instrumental hip hop CDs. Odyssey makes great music. Pete Rock has a lot of instrumentals I listen to, but it'll probably be something instrumental. But it could cross, several genres.
Okay. For me, when I want peace, I'm definitely going jazz. Um, And I don't know what genre she fits, but I'm an in your girl through and through. Oh my God. Only time I think was the first song that really had me go, who is this woman? And then from then on, I bought like 10 of her CDs or something crazy. And yeah, I don't know what she's saying all the time, but there's something about the music that just makes me zen. Um, which decade produced the best hip hop? The 90s or the 2000s?
Man, um, the '90s is a long time, and so is the 2000s. I think the sweet
10
spot
years.
is like that late '90s, early 2000s. The later you get into the 2000s, it got kind of weird. But I don't know. I like the evolution of lyricism, and I think, you know, in the 2000s we probably got some elite level, crazy bars from people. But I don't know. I don't know. '96 was a hell of a year.
I'm definitely taking the 90s for the best decade of hip hop over the 2000s. Which decade produced the best R&B? The 80s, the 90s, or the 2000s? Now I know you're
Man,
not well versed in R&B, so take your
no,
time.
don't do that. I'm very well versed in R&B. I'm actually probably gonna go '80s. To me, the '90s was hypersexual, and 2000s niggas start cursing. Sorry, Grandma and Sean. Dudes start cursing in R&B songs. So I'm probably gonna go '80s for me.
Um, I agree with you. And I think, yeah, the 90s were hypersexual, but I wasn't worried about that because I still like what I like. But I will agree with you. The 80s. What is your least favorite genre?
Least favorite genre. It'll probably be something heavy metal or something like it. Once we hit like that wall of noise thing, where it's just
Yeah,
yeah, and you have no intention of me understanding what you're saying. Like yeah, that's when I'll probably check out. Mumble rap is right up there with it. So
hmm hmm. So I would agree with you 100%. There's like some rage metal, death metal stuff that it doesn't make any sense to me. So I think my least favorite overall would be that. But again, I do have some songs that I can name and some songs that I'll put on right now if I'm feeling, like I want to be violent, and just get all of that energy out. Like it's so much fun. So I'll agree with you there. Which do you feel speaks more true to the Black experience, rock and roll, blues, or jazz?
jazz. I think the black experience is improvisation. I think that sums it up for us. Like whatever situation we're in, whatever instruments you have, you make it work. You make something beautiful out of it. So I'm gonna go jazz. And you can express everything through jazz. I've heard a horn cry. I've heard a bass laugh. Like yeah, I'm gonna go with jazz.
I love that answer. I'm really torn. When I wrote this question down, I said, "Why would you do this?" Because I knew I couldn't pick myself. But I really feel like I just keep thinking about like Jimi Hendrix, and I feel like I would have to go with rock and roll. I feel like there's so much power, there's so much passion, there's so much emotion in rock and roll. And I think it just exudes everything that is Black excellence. I do love blues and I do love jazz, but I think you can get the feel of blues and jazz in rock and roll. It's all about what they choose to do, but there's nothing like the guitar to me. It is the sexiest instrument and the most powerful for me. I love the saxophone. I love drums, but there's something about the guitar that speaks the experience to me. That is Black excellence. So I'll go with rock and roll. But I really don't think you can go wrong with either the three. What is the difference between music made in the 90s and music made today?
I mean, I don't want to be the old man. Like I don't know.
Do it. I'm asking you the questions. I'm
I don't
setting
know.
you up for the okie doke, but we got to speak our truth.
I mean, it's just different. If this is, I heard some young dude. talking about. I think he didn't know who Killer Mike was and was bothered by Killer Mike winning that Grammy for Rap Album of the Year. And he finally listened to it, and his critique of it was it didn't have aura. Like the music, they listen to music for the aura, and like I don't understand that. So if y'all out there listening for aura, like a guy, I'm not here. I guess I'm too old for that. So
Now, if they're listening for aura and the true definition of aura, then I don't know how they're finding it in the music that's coming out now. I really don't.
I,
There's no
they,
life, there's no spirit, there's no healing, there's no joy, there's nothing. This music is flat, empty, and void of all the things that music should be. So they just
I
wanted to
think there
say
was
something
a,
to sound fancy.
but I think there was a time, and it definitely shifted in the '90s. I blame. We can do this some other day on another panel or something. But I definitely blame Cash Money and what's the other
No
people from
limit.
down there? No Limit for that
Yes.
like shift
Well, then you
from
have to blame Biggie for dying, because him and Tupac dying is what led us to that foolishness.
yeah. But I'm gonna blame No Limit and Cash Money for it when it transitioned to me from an art form to a product. But I think there was a time in the '90s where it to make hip hop or to make music, and especially hip hop, it meant like you had to be an artist. You had to be very good at what you did. You had to be one of the best. And it wasn't like to make mediocre music just for the sake of putting something out was like laughable. If you was a whack rapper, like that's the last thing you wanted to be. You didn't want to be whack.
Vanilla Ice. Lord Jesus. Oh my God.
But like these days it's just it seems like everything is a lot of things have transitioned from art form to product. And people are just making content for the sake of content. And we're consuming it because we
Hand over
become
fist.
consumers.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I think the difference is. It's just a product now.
Yeah. I think it lost its authenticity. I think that there are a lot of people who come out to tell stories that aren't theirs and to perpetrate. And it's just not real anymore. It's all about making money at whatever cost, even your life. So it's very sad and disgusting, to be honest. I'm done. And what really disgusts me with the whole thing is when people my age or older are doing this mess. Like you out here listening to this mess. I'm like, I went to school with you and I know what you used to listen to. So who the fuck like, why is this what you're doing? Oh, you just want to fit in. You want to be with the cool kids because you can't have been dumbed down like this, but they are. And the girl, any woman of a particular age, like older than 21, listen to Sexy Red. I'm going to, nope, I'm going to be quiet. Okay. The next question. Who won the battle between Kendrick and Aubrey?
Man, I feel like most deaf all of a sudden. Like this, this had to be how Yasin felt when she asked him that Drake question, and he was like, "Why are you asking me this?"
I mean, it's your
I,
opinion. We're entitled to our opinion.
yeah, man, I if you ask me, like in terms of the culture, Kendrick definitely won. I think Kendrick made music that resonated with the culture more, resonated with people more. He has always been a closer, to the people sort of artist than Drake. Drake seems to have, I don't know. He's just when you start making music about how much money you have, you separate yourself from people. Like
Mhm.
who wants to? We listen to Drake songs and we don't get half the references because none of us can buy that shit. Nigga, like chill, relax, dog. Like we don't even catch the bars, dog, because we can't shop there. Relax, bro. But
He's
and
not
I
like
think that's
us.
what lost him for. But he had for a person who likes patterns and rhyme schemes and stuff like that. I'm not saying that Kendrick didn't have some very elaborate and very complex bars, but Kendrick is very much Kendrick is like a jazz artist to me, and he gets on the beat and just go, and he may switch up flows, he may start singing, he may whatever. He may drop a few bars, not rhyme here, come back to the rhyme. Like he may do whatever feels good to him is what he's going to do. And I like that kind of art and I appreciate that kind of art. But
Well,
what
he's
usually
it's a
sounds the most
project,
pleasing,
in my opinion,
you say what?
because there were people who did breakdowns of "They Not Like Us" or "Not Like Us," and but so much was missed. If you don't know certain things, somebody to break down every single thing he did and what was connected here and there, it's a masterpiece. It's like a lecture at Harvard or Yale in how to do this thing magnificently. I just think that Kendrick is so important to the culture. He is the culture. Aubrey is a plant or a guest at best, a colonizer. That's what Aubrey is. And yeah, I'm definitely going to give it to Kendrick. I don't even need to explain the reason. When we talk about the most successful people in rap, we are talking about Eminem and Drake, two people who are not really of the culture at all. But because one is white and the other one is, I believe, probably half, they are the ones that are accepted and brought up, and just boom, you give them all the accolades because it's ours and you want to take it. It just that's all that this is. Because it
Yeah, I'm
doesn't make
not.
any sense to me for people to run around here and say Eminem is the greatest of all time in hip hop. He's in my top five, dead or alive, but number one is outrageous. Or they say it's Drake. It's amazing to me how you don't want to give that to someone who's actually of the culture, who's black, African American, where this comes from. You want outsiders to be the people who are the most
It's not
successful and the
about.
most
Well,
touted.
hang on. I won't answer that debate. But to close the loop on what I was trying to say earlier, I think for me, what's most pleasing to my ear is those patterns, those that that staying on beat. And Drake is a very technical rapper when he wants to be, and so some of his songs were technically executed in a way that is more pleasing to my ear. But I think Kendrick won, from the culture and what he had to say and what he was able to say about Drake.
Well, I'm not shying away from anything. F. Drake, he's a colonizer. By
Yeah,
Aubrey.
I
Okay.
just okay.
So the next question that I have, no. Oh, yes. Okay, here's an onslaught, but I'm not going to do like you got 2 seconds to answer. But because there's so many, I don't need a why unless you absolutely got to give a why. These are like lightning round. Okay.
Okay.
I want to throw you off kilter a little bit. LL Cool J or Big Daddy Kane?
Big Daddy Kane.
Ludacris or T.I.?
Ludacris.
Cash Money or No Limit?
Pass. Drink. Whatever. Whatever. Dare. I don't really. What's the
No.
option? It's
You have to answer.
cash money.
Royce, the 5'9", or Black
Nickel.
Thought?
Black Thought. Not a question.
Cam or Mace?
Who? Cam or Mace?
Cameron or Mace? Yes.
As much as I love 11 should be 1E1, computers Putin would never. We can't come back from that, dog. I'm going with Mace. You ain't heard
You're
that when he
so
does the
petty. But I
if
don't like
if
Cameron at all.
22
So
if it's 33 and 22, he's like, why isn't it 1E1 instead of 11? You ain't heard that one? That's a
I don't
Cameron.
like Cameron
Okay.
at all. Nori or Nas?
As what? Context. Give me context. As a rapper, as a person, as
Period.
a
Just the
that's too
general
much.
question.
It's too much. Nori, one of
If
my
you
favorite
had to,
people on
if
the
you had
planet.
to pick one and
Nas
the
is
other one
by
went away for
far the
forever.
better rapper. Nas, there's not a question about who's the better rapper, but Nori is one of my favorite people on the planet.
So if you had to choose one and the other one went away forever, nobody ever remembered them, their catalog is completely gone, who are you keeping?
I'm keeping Nori.
Ooh, I almost want to end my friendship with you. Like, but okay, I'm trying to, I said I was going to stay completely unbiased. No way in hell. But okay. So for me, I'm definitely going to go LL Cool J. God, the Ludacris and T.I. was the hardest thing on here for me. I'm going to go T.I. And it's because, never mind. Anyway, it's because of the time of my life. That's all I played. I do love Ludacris, and I think there's a part or a version of me or a day of the week where I could choose him. But man, trap music and Rubber Band Man and all just there's bring them out, like there are just songs that I have played of his a million times. Cash Money or No Limit, definitely gonna go with No Limit because I had those are just some of the best years of my life. The
I
things that
win
we were
Cash
up to
Money
and the
for
fun
Wayne
that we were
alone.
having were just phenomenal. I'm sorry.
I went Cash Money for Wayne alone. That was it. That was the
No.
only difference between the two.
Royce or Black Thought? I'm gonna go Black Thought because I cannot stand Royce the 5'9". Um, Cam or Mace? I'm definitely going with Mace because I cannot stand Cam. And as my phone just turned off, Nori or not? Come on, this is not a this is Nas, 100%. Okay, the next question is: thinking about the 2000s, which genre was the best for that decade? R&B, hip hop, or pop? Do you know what pop is, or should I explain that to you? Give you a couple examples. Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's type of time we on tonight.
I wish they could have
Who
seen
had
your face. Oh
the
my
best?
god.
Oh man, I don't. I'm a hip hop guy, and anyway, I have a lot of amazing moments from the 2000s involving hip hop. So I'm going hip hop.
Definitely gonna go with pop. Pop was ruling the entire world. I think that's when we really started using that. But pop was, yeah, yeah. I mean, you had hip hop artists doing features and verses on huge pop songs and crossing over genres and rapping country and rapping rock and beyond the Run DMC and Aerosmith days. Okay, another onslaught. No, no, no. I have another question. Who's the most influential rapper of all time?
The most influential rapper of all time. This could be answered so many ways. If I want to be, if I'm being perfectly honest, who I think, and this is not me trying to slight someone, because most people are going to think there's an obvious answer to this question, and I'm purposely trying to avoid it. But I actually think just for
Yeah.
the amount of time that this person has been around and their impact on everything, that I'm gonna go with them. I'm going with Snoop.
Oh, I love that because that boy, I mean, that man, Uncle Snoop, has crossed into every cookbooks and best
Everything.
friends with Martha Stewart and commentating and wrestling in the freaking Olympics. And there's nothing Uncle Snoop cannot do. And because of the time that he's had, I respect your answer. I'm definitely going with Tupac, of course. And I also, as a third choice, would say Eminem because again, I'm just what he's done and what he's accomplished and how much he's sold being 100% not from the culture at all, even remotely close, is a phenomenal thing. We also know why though, because he is that and he's going to be celebrated and touted as a way to take things from us. But
So,
I
and we're
do
not giving it at
love your
all to any
answer
of
of
his
Snoop
talent.
Dogg. I'm sorry.
We're not giving any of what he's been able to do to his talent.
No, what his talent is absolutely without question. The fact that they would want to, the fact that he would sell the way that he did and come in and storm the way. If he'd have been black, rapping like that and saying the same stuff, he would not have done what he did in sales. This is just, it is what it is. But that's what this country does. Um, so I like your answer, and I can agree. Oh my God, but he's had so much time. And he's just changed. God, I love Uncle Snoop so
He's
much.
seen he's seen
Okay.
so many people come and go, and he's still
Yep.
here.
Facts. Okay. Now this may be a little out of your league, but if it's okay.
Jesus Christ,
I'm
I
here
tell you,
for you.
the
Okay.
hits keep
So,
coming.
Queen or Journey?
Queen,
You two are the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones. YouTube probably only got a couple songs that I've high on my list.
I am going my yeah, Queen and Journey. This is unfair because Freddie Mercury is one of the greatest voices to ever exist on the planet. But in my life at my age now, I play Journey every road trip I take, and I listen to every freaking song they have on Spotify. So I cannot choose between Queen or Journey. I don't want to. You two or the Rolling Stones? Definitely you two. Okay, the next one, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson,
Me too.
Easy Money,
Okay, the next one is three choices because why not? The Temptations, New Edition, or Boys to Men?
Boys to Men.
Definitely the Temptations. Without the Temptations, I don't think we get the
But we
magnitude
did
and the
get Boys to
greatness
Men.
of a
Like
Boys to Men.
I'm not gonna. lessen their greatness because they stood on the shoulders of somebody. They stood on the shoulders and built on it.
I agree, but Wanya is a terrible, horrible person, so I'm going with Temptations. Keisha Cole or Mary J. Blige?
Oh fuck. I, I'm sorry. All right, black people. I'm not a huge fan of either. Mary J.
Mary J. Blige cannot sing, never has been able to sing, and is just terrible at music, in my opinion. I'm definitely going
Keisha
Keisha
Cole
Cole.
makes anthems for fucked up, stupid ass decisions. I can't stand them
I mean, so does Mary
crying
J.
ass. He
Blige.
did it
People,
again
people,
songs. I hate them
people just
shits. I
love
hate
when
them.
they hurt. Oh my God,
Her and
Mary J. had
Jasmine
on
Sullivan.
Heartbroken. I can't wait for
If
that
I could
next
erase
album.
two people's catalog from the R&B archives, Keisha Cole, Jasmine Sullivan, get them up out of here. I'm tired of.
Why? But you would
I'm in
leave
bed with
Mary
the
J.'s
wrong one.
trash catalog?
I think she got some
The
hip hop
reason
in
that
there. She got
Keisha
some
Cole
classes. She got some
exists is
songs I
because
can't
of
get rid
Mary J.
of because
Blige.
she got some songs I can't get rid of because it's rappers on them. Like Keisha Cole, I'm all
Oh
right, I'm
my
good.
God. Keisha Cole over Mary J. all day. Anita Baker or Tony Braxton?
Tony Braxton.
Yeah, I think me too, but dude, that hurts because if I turn Anita Baker on right now, I'm like, oh man, that she got hits up on hits. And again, I don't think we get or accept a Tony Braxton the way that we did if we didn't have Anita Baker.
The only
So I
reason
do
I'm
want to
going
give
Tony
her
Braxton
props.
is because Anita Baker, when I became aware of Anita Baker was like grown folks music that I got to listen to if I was in the room. When Tony Braxton was popular, I was actually of age to listen to that. So, like I'm saying, it's
I
different
forget that
impact.
you're such a baby. Yeah,
Oh
youngins out here
wow,
these days.
wow,
But okay, so the next one
you know
is
good and well.
Whitney Houston or Sade.
I know what you're gonna say, but I'm going Whitney Houston.
What do you First of all, Whitney Houston is the voice. No, nobody. I will always love you alone. But beats everybody catalog for me regarding her. I do love me some Sade, but I probably can't name 10 Sade songs. So I'm absolutely going to Whitney Houston. What you mean you know what I'm gonna say? What did you assume I was going to say?
I mean, I think you throw a
Over the
question like
queen
that.
of all.
I feel like you throw a question in there just to try to. If she's the queen of all, it's not a question.
Well, it is because there are going to be some people who prefer Sade. I mean, because they might be going off of looks, and that might be their cup of tea, or they might go off of sound, and that might be their cup of tea. And I couldn't find, like, I didn't want to say Mariah. That's just too easy. I don't know a person who chooses Mariah over Whitney.
Let me
But
give you some since you try to do these whole. This might be out of your depth. Let me try you for one.
ah,
Dilla or Pete Rock?
you said who? Jay
Dilla
Dilla or Pete
or
Rock?
Pete Rock?
I'm gonna go with Pete Rock because Jay Dilla, like for me, the only thing I know him to do is do beats.
What you
And
know Pete Rock to do?
they're old beats, and they like, a lot of the stuff is dated to me. You know how I feel about Jay Dilla. There's some things that I do like, because I like the musicality of it, but I really wish he'd have been like working with a symphony orchestra or something like that with the way, you know what I'm saying? I just think he wasn't used to his full potential for what he did. I thought he was. Maybe I do pick Jay Dilla. I don't. Yeah, I'll go Jay Dilla because of what I just said. I just talked myself into changing my answer for sure. Um, okay. Name an album that blew you away unexpectedly. So I not somebody who you've been not a Jay-Z album, somebody dang old Will's gonna put out quality and you like 27 of them. Somebody who you just can was like, who the hell, what the hell, how the hell?
Oh man,
And
man.
I can answer because I wrote mine down if you want me to.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. 19 and 21 by Adele are classic albums. Rock Ferry by Duffy. I know you don't know who that is, but that is one of the greatest albums ever
I
made.
know who that is, but thank you.
1989 by the Queen, Taylor Swift. Phenomenal, no skips, perfect album,
And that's
classic.
an album that you didn't see coming.
1989, no. That is what made me a Taylor Swift fan. I thought she was country before that. Red was okay, and I think her introduction to trying to step out of the country realm, but I didn't listen to that until after 1989 because I started trying to consume everything. I was like, who is this girl? Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. Phenomenal. Oh, I miss her so freaking much. I miss her so much. I've tried everything but therapy. Teddy swims. Now, I thought he was going to be a YouTube sensation for forever and forever, forever. And then when I found out he was coming with an album, I was like, "Ooh, please let them utilize him correctly and give him full creative control." He did more than what I expected, and I love that album. And last but not least is a oldie but goodie, but 808s and Heartbreak, because I was not a super Kanye fan, but that is when I said, okay, let me go back and listen to everything he's ever done with 808s and Heartbreak.
Okay, let's see
Just to name a
albums
few.
that
I could go on and on about albums that blew me out the water.
blew me out the water, and I wasn't expecting no skips. No, I'm gonna go. I'm
And I
going through
just
one of
said no
my.
skips for the album I was talking about. It don't have to be no skips for you.
Okay, blew me out the water. Yeah, I go with some stuff that probably people don't know. Jim Crow the musical by Add Two. Amazing album. I hadn't heard much of his music. I knew he was connected with like Knife Wonder and the Jamla group, and then I heard that album, and I'm a sucker for concept albums, and when you can pull it off and make it a good music that's coherent, super dope. Let me see. I'm thinking of this off the top of my head. Albums that caught me off guard. Man, I don't think a lot of because I usually don't just end up listening to something random that I didn't intend to listen to. Robin Thicke's first album, I wasn't, I was enticed by the what was the song? When I Get You Alone, but I wasn't expecting that
Hmm.
album to be as amazing as it actually was. Teddy Swims, also thank you for introducing me to that.
You're so welcome.
Russ just dropped the album recently, Santiago. I'm a big Russ fan, but I was not expecting it to be what it was, and that definitely caught me off guard. The first time I heard Slum Village, I think that was fantastic. Volume 2, crazy dope. First time I heard Bilal was that Soul Sister. Was that the album? Soul Sister.
I swear that's a woman singing that song. That is not a man.
Yeah, it's a dude, but yeah, I could go on. It's a lot of
Okay, well,
it's a
that's
lot of
enough
albums I probably haven't
for
listened to in a
people that
long
we don't know
time.
who you're talking about. Add
Yeah,
to by
yeah.
Bjorn. Is that what you said?
No,
Wait a
the
minute.
the
No, add
name of
to
the
is with
album is Jim Crow the musical. The artist's name was Add to. Yeah.
add to. Okay. Um, what are your thoughts? Sorry. I am so petty for this question. What are your thoughts on Kanye West?
Fuck him for life. Sorry, Sean, grandma. She asked. She knew what she was doing. Blame her.
I need you to get over that.
Nope. Ain't no
They
getting over
don't
it. Ain't
care.
no getting over it. Fuck
I'm not
him
talking about
for
Kanye. I am
life.
talking about Sean and Granny. They don't care. Okay, so can he ever redeem himself?
Sure, everybody's got a way back. Way back. I don't anticipate. I don't see any signs that he's moving in that direction. So I don't hold out any hope. But yeah, everybody's got a way back.
Um, I find that the more that I listen to Kanye and try to move past knowing that he is bipolar, that he is super intelligent, that he's been through some stuff and he is damaged beyond repair behind losing his mom and losing his wife. I believe that he loved Kim in a way that we will never understand. But he's also a very sick individual. I find him intriguing. I would love to sit down and just talk to him for spend a whole day with him, just me and him though. I don't want cameras there. I don't want, a show. I think he's probably an incredible human being who is extremely flawed. I think the music that he makes, depending on whether he's super holy at the church or trying to talk about, like what he was in College Dropout and his first three albums, I think there's so much talent there that I would hope that one day he could redeem himself. The problem with Kanye for me is that if he's on medication, I don't know that he's creative in the way that we love him to be, but we might be able to get a more coherent, apologetic, sane version, maybe. Um, but off of the medication, we're going to get that fabulous creativity, but also that mouth that just says any freaking thing. So I feel bad because I don't really know what to do with Kanye, but right now he just really is in the crap box with black people, and that's understandable.
Because I think if you're sick and you know you're not well, then you have a responsibility to to try
But
to
the
manage that, to take care of that.
medicines are
And the
bad.
problem is that as important, as influential, and as much as he means to the culture, for him to give us himself publicly, you know, when you know you're not in a correct state of mind, or when you know you have an issue, because there's things he says that when they hit the ears of people, they can't be taken back. And he's done it too many times. And he goes out and says something crazy, doesn't mean it. His fans go do the mental gymnastics to make it make sense, and then you can't talk them back once he comes out and says, "Oh yeah, I was off my meds, or I was on whatever
We
when I
need to
said
come up
that."
with better ways of therapy to help people who have bipolarism and schizophrenia other than the
Well, he's
or
got to take the
depression
help.
or
The help is
anxiety.
out there. He's got to take
But
the help.
but a lot of times the help that they're trying to give is a whole bunch of medications that make you feel like a zombie, so you feel like
He got all
nothing.
the money in the world. I know he can find. I know he can find the alternatives. I know he can.
Okay, next question is who was the most recent artist, musician, or singer, however you want to categorize it, to excite or intrigue you with their music?
JID. I
Oh,
probably was
I
one of those
love
people.
JID.
I probably was one of those people that was like, yeah, these new artists is trash, blah blah blah, and it, like JID. I'm almost brokenhearted that I found out he's older than 30, because I wanted that. Like, that was my hope for like these
For
younger
the youth.
kids,
Yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah.
youth, and now the fact that he's 30 plus, it's like he don't even count. But as he's still crazy dope. There's a lot of times I listen because I used to try to rap, and there's a lot of times I listen to music these days and it makes me want to rap because either the beat is crazy and I feel like the artist was trash, or it's just inspirational to me. Either they did such a good job that it sounds fun and I want to do it again. I listen to JID and I don't have that skill. I don't want to compete with that dude. I don't. He makes me not want to rap. That's how good he is.
First of all, I think that's high praise coming from you. Guys, listen, if you want to hear some of his songs, hit
Don't
me
don't
up
do it.
and
Don't
I
do it.
will send you to where you can hear them.
Don't do it.
But he's phenomenal with words. And I want you to do an album. Just once, do an album, put it out. It'll be, I know what music means to you. It'll be you doing that, and then you ain't never got to do it again. That's fine. But I think JID is a phenomenal answer. I love that answer. I'm definitely gonna go with Teddy Swims. He just excites me, and Sabrina Claudio. Just whoo, she is all of that in a bag of chips to me. Um, but the person who every time she comes out with a new song, I'm like, I know I need to listen to this album. Is Ari Lennox. Baby, I love me some Ari Lennox. She can do no wrong to me. She is raw and transparent and just a wreck on her Instagram sometimes, but music, man, she excites me. I'm always ready and willing to hear something from Miss Ari Lennox. I like her a lot. Okay, so the last question is, do you think the best of what we can create musically has already happened, or is it yet to come?
I think it's always yet to come. Somebody's gonna find something new. I think I just like I think what people need to understand as an artist, and I only say I'm not on some high horse or something like that. I tried my hand at being an artist, and it didn't work out for me. But I do think I have, I listen to music and I listen to music intently. So I just say this: like, if the wave is already happening, it's too late to join it. Like, be the start of the next wave. But when the wave is already happening, and then you just trying to jump on and make music that sounds like what's already out there, you're not really helping yourself. You're not pushing the culture forward. Just find the next sound. Find the next thing to do. Stop trying to hop on the current wave. It's flooded. We good.
Oversaturated. You better believe it. I think the best and the greatest has already happened. I think we talk about the Michael Jacksons, the Princes, the Whitney Houstons, the Luther Vandross, Stevie Wonder, the only one that we still have, Ray Charles, Miles Davis, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley, we just aren't getting them again. And we don't even have that caliber or that level anymore, that dedication, that natural ability. And if we do, those people are going to be hard pressed to ever make it to mainstream because that is not what they want us listening to. People who unify, people who heal with their talent, people who are just once in a lifetime phenomenons. I don't think that we're going to get that again. I don't see us headed in a direction where we're even interested in that. Everybody wants the quick buck. Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to sound exactly alike because if that hit, then that means I need to mimic that so I can hit too. Everybody wants to be nasty and vulgar. The women are just outrageously disgusting in their music and their lyrics. There's nothing great happening right now. So even if somebody comes out with something new or the next best thing, which I just like, Timbaland and Pharrell and people like that who I don't see it happening. I think that we've done everything that's going to be extraordinary. And the only thing that we can do beyond that now is mimic it, remix it, try to get real close, but not enough to get in trouble for like trademark copyright infringement or something like that. But I just don't see the India
That
Aries and the
sounds
Mini Rippertons,
that
we
sounds
don't have
horrible.
it.
That sounds horrible. And it's got, like
I know it
all of
does.
those people, Minnie Riperton and all of those people stood on somebody's shoulders to be who they were. I think someone will come and things this is where we're
Maybe
going
they
right
will,
now.
but
Where
I
we're
don't
going
see
right
it.
now has got to burn out. Like
Yes.
we're going to reach a point where you can't get no nastier. Ain't no more clothes for you to take off. Ain't no more people for you to kill. And you done killed everybody in every way possible, and you done fucked them in every way possible. Now what
Mhm.
else can we talk about? It's going to burn out eventually, and we're going to have to come around to art again.
Maybe I don't know if that's going to be in our lifetime though. I
It
think
might
that
not
this
be.
foolishness is just getting started, and we may have 200, 300 more years of this BS. So I mean, but I think it's great that you have your perspective and I have mine. And I would love to be found wrong. That's not something that I would be mad about if I found out, hey, but I just don't believe it. But I will say this, I enjoyed this episode and I think I did fantastic in putting these questions together and giving us a topic that I knew that would be very easy for you to speak on. But also in my attempts to catch you up, I did a few times. It was great. And yeah, how'd you feel about it?
Fun times.
Whatever. Well, we almost at an hour. So I definitely know we need to wrap this up. Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Man, just enjoy what you enjoy. But everything should. I think everything should exist. Whatever it is you like it. Don't yuck somebody else's yum.
My one of my best friends, Ross, says that all the time. First time he said that to me like 3 years ago, I said, "What did you just say?" Please. I will say this. I'm a yuck yo yum because if you like spicy ice and spicy latte, whoever, and sexy red and things, those things do not need to exist at all ever. There's no purpose for any good. No woman should behave like that or talk like that. No child should behave like that or talk like that. It just serves no purpose for anyone. The level of ratchetness and hoeing that we just build. Oh God, we are so I can't. And again, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but when I think about things, if there is no good coming from it, there is no sound, safe behavior, nothing learned, no lesson, no moral, no Aesop fable. I'm done. It's
What
trash
if
and I want it
what
out.
if
I
it's
do want balance, but I don't think that there's some things we just don't need. We don't need pedophiles making music and people still talking about they the best genius, blah, 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 blah. And we don't need people out here, there was a song called what was it? All the other kids with the pumped up kid or something like that. Yo, I think that was a song about a school shooter. I'm pretty sure when you
yeah,
listen
run
to the
from my
lyrics,
gun? Yeah,
what,
I think it's
what
called
are
Run
we
from My Gun
doing?
or something like that.
No, I think it was like pumped up kicks or something like that. Either way, come on. There's just certain things that don't need to exist. I'm sorry. I will never condone that behavior. But in closing, I do want to say especially in today's climate. Today is the, day that we got the announcement of who won the presidency. There's a lot going on with people right now, a lot of high emotions. Remember to be good to yourself and be kind to others. I don't care what differences we have. This is not the time for us to pull further apart or turn away from each other. I'm glad to do an episode today that was lighthearted, that's about something we can all come together on, music, baby. And I'm hoping that this brings you guys some joy, some laughter, and maybe even some friendly banter back and forth. For those who, one or two of you that may agree with Flan, and the rest of everybody who agrees with me. I think it was a fun episode.
Add them up.
Like I said, be good to yourself and be kind to others. And until next week, holla.
Holla.